This is why I'm hot hoes praying at a flop.
Yes, welcome back to London Lips YouTube channel. Welcome if you're new and welcome if you're not. Today we're talking Chrisean and Blueface. We're talking abortion and termination. We're talking about, does a guy have the right to ask a woman to have a termination? And if he does, how should a woman move after that fact? Now, Chrisean and Blueface, as you guys know, have a terrible relationship. It's toxic. You know, they've been on and off. They've been having domestic violence incidents within their relationship. So when Chrisean was pregnant, Blueface was like, you know, get a termination. He said the baby wasn't his and he didn't want the baby. But right now, these guys are picking baby names together as Chrisean is still pregnant with Blueface's alleged baby. Now, does a guy have the right to tell a woman to have an abortion and then later on down the line to switch it up and want to be involved? And does a guy even have the right to ask a woman to have an abortion, period? But if a guy does ask you to have an abortion, are you crazy to continue to be in a relationship with that guy? Do you feel disrespected, or do you feel like, you know, he should tell you he doesn't want to have the baby and there's nothing wrong with him voicing his opinion, but if the pregnancy continues, he should just do the respectful thing? Now, there's guys out here who will be switching, flipping, and doing a full 360 on a woman. There's guys out here who were saying, I'm in love the day before. There's guys out here that were saying, please, lady, have my baby. I want to spend my whole life with you. And the woman's got pregnant, and wow, that man has switched up differently. That man has become a beast. That man has become a complete different person. Now the baby's on the table. There's men out here who are begging a lady to have their baby, and when the lady is pregnant, that guy is running. That guy has got the speed like Usain Bolt. That guy is gone dusted. There's guys out here who are planning a baby and they get a woman pregnant. Their number has changed. They are moving house. They are packing their things. They are ringing up relatives in other countries and saying, God damn, help me. Can I move to your house? They're willing to travel abroad. There's guys out here who are doing the most to escape the responsibility of having a child. There's guys out here who are pretending they want kids, and when they're getting women pregnant, they're literally panicking. They're changing their mind. They're moving differently, and the girl is left in tears, crying, devastated, shocked. She don't know who the hell this guy is anymore. She does not recognize this guy. If a guy chooses to have unprotected sex with a woman and he knows she's not on any sort of contraception and she gets pregnant, is it an accident, or did he decide, you know, he wants to run the gamble? And if he gets that girl pregnant and she decides to keep the baby, does he really have the right to come to her and say, look here, I don't want that baby and you best get rid of it? If he asks the girl to get rid of the baby and she says, no, I'm not getting rid of the baby. And bear in mind, this is her body, yeah? She's the one that has to have the termination. She's the one who is carrying the baby. She's the one who has to go through this termination. She's the one who has to have this abortion. She's the one who, if she's going to feel guilty, is going to feel the guilt. Does any guy have the right to ask a woman to do this? Especially a guy who has not took no time to use protection or do anything to prevent this girl getting pregnant. If a guy is in a relationship for a long time with a girl and he's faking being in love, and then he gets the girl pregnant and she decides she's keeping his baby, is he responsible for faking being in love? Shouldn't he have told that girl, I'm not in love with you? Shouldn't he have made sure he was protecting that girl from getting pregnant? Because he's the one that's not going to want the baby. He's the one that's not going to take responsibility when the child is born. He's the one that's not going to be paying. And if you're the one that don't want to do all them things, shouldn't you be the one to make sure that prevention is there 100%? Now, with Blueface and Chrisean, these guys, you know, there's no denying yet, their relationship is terrible. And like, obviously, it's not the ideal relationship for a child to be born into. They've had domestic violence issues, you know. Obviously, it's not the right time to have a baby. So I understand where Blueface may want to, you know, voice his concerns, and maybe he may not think they should have a baby together. But the problem with Blueface is he's been getting this girl pregnant multiple times. So if he doesn't want a baby, why don't he use some contraception and common sense. Now, moving on from them two, okay, let's talk about the fact that there's some guys out here who will go to a woman, press her, harass her, diss her, and want her to have a termination. Yeah, after that woman is terminated, 1 month later, he would have another girl pregnant, and he'd be with that one, and he'd be excited for that baby. And it's showing to me like the lack of value he puts on a child's life. That it's like one child's life don't mean to him, but give him 2 weeks later, he's busy having a child with someone else who his preference is, and he's not asking that girl to terminate. And I feel like some guys out there, and guys, you can let me know if I'm wrong about this, if there's guys watching this video, some guys out there seem to see no value in a baby unless it's born and it's like in their face. Switch that. Some guys see no value in a baby, period. You know, there's some guys out here, as I said, who, you know, plan babies and then they don't take no responsibility. They leave a woman raising the kids alone. They leave for a woman struggling. They're living their best life. They go on to have another family and forget they ever had one in the beginning. Now, I feel like, yes, if you don't want a child with a lady, then yeah, you should tell her. But at the same time, if the woman chooses to go through with the pregnancy, then you guys got to suck that up and be supportive. Guys, let me know, because I feel like, you know, it's wrong. And I feel like when a guy's dating a girl for a long time, a lot of the time, you know, she thinks he's really into her because that's what he's been putting out there into the world. That's what he's been telling her. And, you know, if you're not being real with people you're dating, like, they get the wrong impression and they often think the relationship's going places. It's just not going to be going. So one of the points we haven't really got to yet is, if a guy asks you to have an abortion, should you be in a relationship with him after? Like, is chrisean crazy to even consider or even at any point be back in a relationship with Blueface? Should the relationship just be a done thing right there? Like, hell no. Like, you know, you didn't want to have a child with me and now I don't want to have a relationship with you. I feel like, you know, if a guy asks you to have an abortion, I feel like it doesn't mean he doesn't have good reasons for it. But I feel like after that, I kind of feel like the relationship should be over. I think it's like, you know, the relationship should be deaded. I feel like, you know, because I've seen this, as I said, a lot of times before, where guys ask a girl to have an abortion and then the next minute he's planning or having a baby with somebody else. I feel like you're not going to feel the same way about him, but I could be wrong, but that's how I would feel, in my opinion. I feel like you're not going to feel the same way about him. I feel like chrisean would be crazy to have Blueface back, especially because he disrespected her in the worst ways. He was running up his mouth about her on the internet. He was dissing her out. He was saying he ain't the dad. He was doing the most. He was saying she slept with like 10 men. He was out here just dissing her out, tweeting things about her and insulting a woman who, from what I've seen, have been giving him so much loyalty and love to an obsessive level, and that is the sort of slap he gives her in the face. And there's a lot of guys out here that when they want a woman to, you know, have an abortion, they're switching up, they're talking to a woman differently, like I was saying, and they're showing the true colours and their true feelings that they have towards that woman. And I feel like at that point, you should just call it quits. You know, if you have an abortion, you should just, you know, leave him alone. And if you have the baby, I feel like you should leave him alone as well and just let him be a father and don't have a relationship with him and move on and just get a new partner. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think in the comments below. Does a guy have the right to ask a woman to have an abortion? What should he do if she chooses to have the baby? Should he just level up, do the job, take care of his child and do what he needs to do? And, you know, should he be apologizing for the fact that he asked for an abortion? And should he expect that woman to have any relationships with him again after that? Let me know what you guys think. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. I'll see you guys in another one. Thanks for watching.
Peter Pan, that's what they call me. I promise that you